Welcome to Up and Away, the restaurant marketing podcast, saving the world from bad marketing, brought to you by Qubriux, the all-in-one platform for loyalty and customer engagement. I'm Rev Ciencio, hospitality marketing consultant, tech evangelist, Hawaiian shirt wearer, content creator, and CMO at Salad House in New Jersey, and the co-founder of Handcraft Burgers and Brew in New York City. And with me is my co-host, Arun, who's the founder and CEO of Qubriux. He's a tech veteran with over 2 decades of experience. Before Qubriux, he was the principal data scientist and architect for developing Starbucks' personalized customer engagement platform. He turns data into dollars. And today we are talking about future-proofing your restaurant through building a tech stack that lasts. I know, look, I got a whole intro I want to go in here. We went through COVID. We bought a lot of tech. We're kind of a little bit tech drunk. The tech worked. The tech didn't work. We're in a new place. We've learned. But this is a really important time to be evaluating what to do with your tech and how it's going to move your business forward. I get asked by operators literally all the time. I'm thinking about switching my point of sale. Which one should I use? I literally get asked it all the time. And it is a great question. It really is. POS is the backbone of a well-oiled marketing tech stack. It is how we figure out guest behavior. It's how we take transactions. So when I get asked that question, I usually ask that same person, what's more important, the transaction or managing the customer journey effectively? Because the truth of the matter is, if you want to maximize your marketing efforts and you want to drive repeat customer visits, you have to make it easy for them to do that. It has to be what us tech junkies like to call frictionless, okay? The harder it is, or the more hoops that I have to jump through to make a reservation, place an order, join your reward system, the less likely it is that I'm going to do it, okay? To help us navigate that minefield, we brought in a true industry veteran. Our guest has over 2 decades of experience in the hospitality tech trenches, including working as a server in a local brewery, and working with everybody from restaurants to massive stadiums. He's seen every side of this. He's seen the trends come, he's seen the trends go, and he's here to help us build a tech foundation that won't crumble. Please welcome the incredible Chris Munz. Chris, welcome to the show, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rev. Arun, I appreciate it. I'm excited to spend this time hanging out with you guys, talking tech and talking how we can help restaurants do a little bit better than yesterday.
Awesome. Listen, you have had legit every experience in this business. I mean, you were waiting tables a month ago. So like in the middle of doing all this stuff. So you literally have seen it all. Where do you think operators could start differently in thinking about this? Like what's a mindset shift that would help everybody?
Well, I think they got to start at the consumer. Look at how consumer trends, how people are consuming their product, right? We've seen a seismic shift in where people work today, and that changes where your real estate is. It changes when people eat out. If lunch was a driver for you 5 years ago, it could be dinner. It could be early dinner, right? I mean, um, it starts with where the dollar is going to come from, and I think that's where they you have to start to look to see, uh, to start making better tech decisions, and to facilitate the new consumer.
I think it's that plus, is it easy? Is it easy to order? Is it easy to make a reservation? Is it easy to join your loyalty? Is it easy to order again? Is it easy to use my points? Is it easy to click from your email? Is it easy? Is it easy? Right? And
Yeah.
if you can't look at how your technology functions and go, is this easy to use? You should probably start there. If you're confused as to whether is it easy or not, go find another restaurant and see how they're doing it and be like, was it easier to do my thing than their thing?
Yeah, I think you touched on that. I'd love to hear Arun's take on it for sure.
Yeah, I think the first thing is when you start a restaurant, or for that matter, any restaurant, is to ensure that you have the right product. I mean, you have the right concept and the right operations, right kind of operational details figured out. So we when Qubriux and then we think a lot about customer loyalty, and then the first step, the most essential ingredient on having customer loyalty is your product itself. You cannot establish customer loyalty and then retention, repeat business, or any of those, or even growth, without first ensuring that your concept and the product is of the highest quality. The concept means everything, including the food, the ambience, the operations, that needs to be taken care first. Then comes, scaling that up. So from that perspective, I would say that, first assemble the right tech to ensure that your concept and the product is to ref point, make it easy, make it seamless. Your operations are seamless. Your supply chain is correct. And fix all those things first and ensure that your product and concept is nailed out.
Amen. Yeah, get the foundations right. Chris,
Yeah.
if an operator was coming to you to like for tech advice or POS advice, or as how I framed it up in our intro here, what's the first question you would ask them?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, what are they trying to solve, right? Start with the end to work to the beginning. And, you know, that first question, it puts the goal, right? It puts something, the light at the end of the tunnel of where you need to get to. And then you can start to backtrack to what the specific needs are, who needs to be involved in the decision, right? I think tech decisions, unfortunately over the last, 5, 6 years, have been driven on just trying to stay in business. Now it's time for us to really think about what we have, what we're not maximizing, and what's missing. Right? If the consumer has changed, their buying habits have changed, and so if they're now more likely to buy through a online experience than in store, um, we have to create that journey, that experience, and also understand that that needs to be across multiple channels, right? That we hear the word omni-channel or whatever. Yeah, like it opens up opportunities, but it also adds more complexities. And getting smart people that can help figure that out is key. But having that goal in mind, what do you want to get out of this, is a good place to start.
Amen. Yeah, I framed up in my intro. I always ask, what's more important, the transaction, or the customer journey? I clearly have an opinion, right?
Yeah.
It's managing the customer journey, and I think Arun would agree that like loyalty, rewards, engagement, all that stuff, like that's actually what fuels the business, right? If you have good food and you have good service, and it's easy to transact with you, right? That's the cog for the wheel that needs to spin. You know what I mean? I talk about Dunkin' Donuts all the time. This is probably the 12th show I've mentioned them on, right? Is it the best coffee? No, it's not. It's good enough, right? But their app is so ridiculously easy to use that like I can be on a phone call with somebody, order the espresso I want, walk in the door, it's right. I walk in the door. I don't even skip a beat on the call. Like if that's not the definition of easy, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? And on Monday mornings, I get a ping from them. Hey, don't forget to order today for 100 bonus points. Oh, okay, great. It's easy, right? And they understand the customer journey. They also know that if I go there frequently, if I go 12 times in a month, I get a 3x repeater on my rewards earnings. I've been on a 3x repeater for 4 years. Okay. They put tech in place that helps the customer journey, right? I'm also on their email address. I also follow them on social media. And so they're managing the customer journey. And it's easy for somebody to go, oh, that's Dunkin' Donuts. They have all the money in the world. Like, tell me if I'm wrong here, Chris and Rune, but like that technology exists for every restaurant on the planet.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so I'm not wrong.
Yeah. No, it does. And I think that's the amazing thing about it right now, because a small little independent restaurant could have the same tech that Starbucks has, or or Dunkin' Donuts, or anybody, right? That the tech is there. But it's about the implementation of it, and how do you squeeze more juice out of the data, right? How do you create more efficiencies back of house so that your throughput is better out the back door, and you're still servicing the guest, within the four walls. It's listen, it's a daunting challenge, and I feel for operators, because tech decisions are hard these days because there's so many different systems out there. And I guess what I would tell people that are listening to this is like, find people that understand this stuff. There's a enough smart people that have been around this business for the last 20 years or so, if not longer, that have understand the before that can help predict the future. And kind of going back to your earlier question about like where do you start? Find smart people that have been, on the other side of it, and start asking questions.
It, we were talking in the pre-show about Mr. Rogers, right? What does Mr. Rogers say? Find the helpers.
Yeah, yeah,
Find
absolutely.
the helpers. I definitely go ahead, Arun.
So I was saying, Chris, like, what are your thoughts on, we talked about, customer journey and customer experience. So how do you ensure that, we build a tech ecosystem, which is ensuring that, customer journey is at the center of it. The customer experience is at the center of it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about how well the customer feel connected to your restaurant and how much they feel coming back again. I mean, that's the whole story here.
Yeah, I think it's the proof is in the data and using the data to tell the story of creating the experiences of what happens within your four walls within the digital, right? There's still a divide between what is the experience you're doing internally to the experience externally. And some of it you can control, some of it you can't control. But it really starts first with understanding who the guest is from a database perspective. And if that's capturing data on your website to the online ordering data coming in and the transactional information that you start gathering, I've always said that like that the transaction, and this kind of leads into what you were talking about, Rev, earlier about transactions, versus customer data. Transactional, it really leads to the next transaction because now you know just a little bit more about that customer and for the goal of being able to get another order that month, right? Whatever the goals are of that system or that process that you're putting in place and the tools that you're putting in place.
All right. When you were building the Starbucks platform, like how did you think about the customer journey at a one-to-one level?
Interesting. So it was all around understanding the customer at a very deep level and helping them. I mean, that was more of the idea that, if I open the app and then if I'm making a quick order, I just want to order pretty much typically what I order, or on the on let's say I have a habit of having a particular type of coffee on weekday mornings. It's all about enabling him to order that as easy as possible, right? So you will basically say, hey Arun, do you want to order your regular like coffee latte today? That'll be popping up in the screen. So one of the measure in any app is in a successful app's KPI is that time to order. And once they get onto the app, and if they're making an order, how long did it take for them to order, right? How many clicks it required for them to make an order? So that's one of the KPIs in apps everybody should implement. So we basically look at from the perspective of customer, like what are the things which will enable him to navigate the app or get to the order and make the order as fast as possible. What kind of personalized product recommendations you can provide to the customer to enable him to order fast or find new food or new beverages which he may like. So this is all hidden in the data. It's about understanding the habits and the preferences of 32 million customers. And then so from a tech point of view, it's like a huge processing billions of transactions and then a very large amount of data, and then creating this customer 360 view of for every customer, with creating a profile of what we call as customer 360, understanding customers, his behavior in the POS, in the channels, in the mobile ordering or any other ordering channels you may have. Collect all the data together, create a profile for the customer, and we do it for every customer, like 32 million customers or more.
Yeah, I think that's the core principle why like DoorDash and Uber Eats are so popular. Like, yes, it's a marketplace, but my credit card store, my favorites are stored. They kind of know who I am. They send me messages. Like, it's easy to use, right? Whether it's more expensive or not, I'm as a consumer, I'm happy to pay the convenience fee because like click, 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 here's comes my hot links.
Exactly. Yeah. So to add to that, I want to stress this point that when you design your user experience in the app, you have to design it from the perspective of customer. And a lot of times restaurants make a mistake of designing the experience in the app. They make it from the perspective of themselves, what they want to achieve, instead of thinking that what their customer want to achieve from the app, right? That's how the successful app work. The customers are able to connect and they feel that the user experience, it's very easy to use. If you go the other way around, thinking that I have certain ambitions, I have certain targets, I want to project that into the app and then make the customer navigate through the app the way I want them to, that can fail. So it has to be done from the perspective of customer. You just look at your app and imagine yourself as the person who is using the app and see that how good it is to use it. So basically, don't project your own ambitions and mental image of what you want to get out of the business directly onto the app without considering the customer experience.
Totally agree. Chris, what do you think are some of the sorry, were you gonna say something? Go for it.
I was gonna ask a question, like, so where does marketing fit into this? So if data is taking such a forefront and we're really trying to build a better experience, right, to match the in-store experience, and where does marketing fit into this? What role do they play, do you guys think?
Chris, again, into the retention marketing side, right? So broadly, we categorize marketing into one is acquisition focused, which is mostly around external, even and like external marketing. Like it's what you do before the customer, makes the first order. But once the customer shows up and makes his first order, then everything is about retaining him. So from a marketing perspective, the data helps a lot in understanding the customer better, and then making the marketing message more relevant for him. So where a lot of times marketing fails is that it's about if you're spamming the customer with irrelevant messages or irrelevant promotions, if it makes sense. Yeah, in simple, like data is used to better connect with the customer.
Yeah. No, and that makes sense, and, Rev, I'd love to get your thoughts on it.
I have a slightly different take. I think data is important. I think insights are more important than data. Um, Tell me what to do next or show me, what are the rune stones telling you? But I think where a lot of restaurants get it wrong is they overanalyze the data, right? Like, should I send a personalized message to the right person at the right time with the right image with it? Yeah, I should. But also, like, if I send an email newsletter every Tuesday at 10 a.m., it checks a lot of boxes. You know what I mean? And so I would rather use data to understand how my customers want to transact with me than, what should I put French fries or a burger in the email? And I'm not naysaying it. I'm just saying, like, here's an example. If I know that 65% of my business is lunch and 35% of it is dinner, that's a helpful thing to help me understand, well, do I want to focus on growing like the ticket size at lunch because that's what people want from me? Or is the opportunity to grow dinner sales because there's more availability, right? And then I don't know that that data says predominantly, oh, you should do either or, but now you can test it. So understanding that you're lunch heavy gives you the ability to test something to increase lunch ticket size. Knowing that you're dinner light gives you the ability to test something that grows dinner sales. You see what I'm saying? And so I'd rather look at that data and then think, okay, if my marketing mechanic is I'm sending an email on Tuesday mornings, what goes in that email? Well, now that I know I'm 65 lunch and 35 dinner, I can make a decision. Do I use that opportunity to speak to you to grow your basket size at lunch by promoting sides, appetizers, combos, bring a friend, etc.? Or do I use that marketing opportunity to speak to you to offer you $5 if you've never eaten dinner before? So that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? I look at the data as the ability to test and market a theory.
Yes, yes, makes sense, totally. Yeah. So what, just to add to that, what data helps is that if we want to have a very specific fine-tuned strategy in marketing, that's where the data will help. If you want to go very specific, so sending an email newsletter is a great strategy, which is more like a brand marketing, and then you're not really fine-tuning. You're basically trying to ensure that your customer get a frequent communication from you and you're on top of their mind. But let's say that you are planning for some sort of a discount promotion and you don't want to see your brand as a discount brand, and then you want to really see that who are those specific customers who I want to give discount if I want to do that. Typically, maybe it could be, focusing on some of the new customers to nudge them to make, second and third and fourth customers, or maybe if you want to precisely target some of the lapsed customer. So in this scenario, when you want to have a very fine-tuned strategy, then the data will help. But if you do these kind of things without a fine-tuned strategy, then it can fail.
Yeah. And something to be said about getting more touches, right? And having a system. And I think, Rev, you hit on something really that I think we need to get back to as marketers, is the testing. Like, put your benchmarks, right? What was it before, right? And standardize it so that you are consistent. Marketing is about consistency, just as much it is about the messaging. And I think that's what you were getting to, right? It if you do have a daily specials that you put on the chalkboard outside, you should be sending that email too. And people will, it starts to become part of habit. They start reading it. It's harder and harder to show up and show out in an inbox or a text message today, right? There's a lot of noise. But consistency could be one of those things that you can test, and see if it drives market share, and then start filling in the gaps with more, fries or burger, promotions and ideas that you're putting out there.
Yeah, so growing up, GI Joe taught me that knowing is half the battle, but they never taught us what the other half is. And as a restaurant marketer, I think the other half is showing up. So
Yeah,
if you
that's because
if
Cobra
you do the
stole it.
All right, well, I'm Team Cobra. So, I want to go back to sort of the common thread here is we're talking about a tech stack. So, Chris, what do you think are some of the essential technologies that actually help the customer journey as we sort of get to the end of the show? Like, I'm a restaurant. Okay, I've heard that you guys talk about this. This makes sense to me. Like, what are the technologies I need to be thinking about that actually help the customer journey?
Yeah, I mean, in the economics we're in today, um, and trying to grow these businesses after, a global pandemic, CRM, like, that should be your foundation. And I know some people would say point of sale. Yeah, those are important, but I look at those as peripherals, right? And they all feed a centralized database that you can get insights to create actions. Because all in this business, as we all know, right, sales solves all problems. And if we're in this more information age and we're collecting data at terabyte clips, find a system that consolidates it and allows you to mine it to create actions. That's where I'd start.
Hey, man, I swear I didn't pay you to say CRM was the answer.
No, I know. But listen, I'm biased too, because I think what we've built at Qubriux is really special, and it solves all those problems. And we're hearing it more and more from operators out there that consolidation, for insights to actions, is really important to their business.
Yes, I would say that having an easy ability to collect customer data, specifically their name and phone number and email, like there's a lot you can do if you have somebody's name and email, a lot, right?
Mhm.
So I look at POS like choosing between fidget spinners. Okay, this one's black, right? And then this one's yellow, and this one is shaped like a robot and it has a button on the top, and this one's only got two, but they're all fidgets, right? So which is the one I grab for? It's the one that feels the best. It's this black one. Why? Because it's easy to spin, it's heavy, it feels good, right? So it's the features and benefits of it that made me choose it, not the fact that it's a fidget spinner, right? And so if I'm picking a POS, what helps the customer journey? What helps me collect a name and email address? What helps me get into a CRM? What helps me grow the CRM? And what's an easy to CRM to use? So yeah, I would back
Yeah.
into the POS decision based on how do I want to manage the customer journey. And if you're an independent restaurant, by the way, like something like Resto Mail or Mailchimp is pretty good. You know what I mean? And even like Toast and Square have a CRM function to them. They're not great, but they're there. So I would think about, how do I collect email? How do I manage the customer journey? What's the POS that plugs into that thing?
Yeah, and then come up with a good strategy, right? Like the welcome birthday and anniversary, as old as they are, in driving revenue, they still work, and they're great foundational pieces that do exactly what we were talking about earlier, which is have that consistency. And then you start to build off of that. So, like, eh, as much as tech decisions are as daunting, for, restaurants today, um, if you start with a foundation of, the idea that you wanna drive traffic, you wanna keep people aware, your loyal customers, and keep them coming back one extra time, whatever it is, um, start with that database, and work with the companies that have built these systems. They have a bazillion use cases because they have customers using this, and figure out how to get more people into that database.
All right, I'm gonna give everybody a simple hack for choosing technology. Okay. Write down the 5 restaurants you frequent the most. Okay. And then go write down what the customer journey is. Like, did you order from their app? Did you go to their website? Did you have to make a phone call? And what points of it were easy and what were difficult? And when you have all 5 of those down, look and go, well, what do I want? And then if you figure out what technologies those restaurants are using, it's a little bit easier. Or you could just call one of the 3 of us, but we'll tell you.
Fair point.
All right, Chris, this has been literally a masterclass in strategic thinking. And look, there are strategies and there are tactics. There are how to think about this and how to do this. And we did a lot of how to think about this today. And I think the how to think about this is really what restricts a lot of people. So thank you for bringing a 5-star strategic thought with us today. You help us separate the hype from the foundation, and we appreciate you being part of the show. So listeners, if you enjoyed this conversation, can you please share this episode with a friend who might also find it helpful? And remember to give us a rating right now. That helps us to spread the word to others who might find this valuable, just like you do. And make sure you hit subscribe on your favorite podcast player so you don't miss out on another episode from us. Cheers.